Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Nosebleed Seats. Christie once again. I've lived in Mountain Zion, Illinois for about 20 years now. I can't remember a time living here when Devore Academy wasn't here. Joining me today, Jeff Devore, to promote Round 1 Fight Night, November 29th at the Decatur Conference Center, right here in Decatur, Illinois. Jeff, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you?
Good.
Pleasure.
Good. Always a pleasure, man, when I see you. Good to talk to you again. A lot of big things coming out of you. This is the second Round 1 Fight Night this year. Huge success on the first one. How much did the first one draw?
Well, we had probably a little over 700 in attendance.
Wow.
That's kids, families. I mean, it's a family event, you know, not just all ages of fight fans.
Right. So. And one thing we do got to point out, I mean, that's 700 fans, and this isn't even really an MMA event. This is kickboxing, Muay Thai, most part.
Strictly 100% stand-up show.
All right. You know, going into it, I was kind of optimistic because a lot of these guys are amateurs and have headgear on, but how many knockouts and TKOs were there that night?
We had probably at least 3 or 4 knockouts, and the rest of them, I mean, 3 rounds, toe-to-toe, Chris, just banging action.
It was an awesome night of fights. I had a great time. I think it lasted like 5 hours. What time did it start? It is absolutely fabulous. My brother and I attended, and it was knockout action from beginning to end. I think there was, what, a 10-second knockout?
Yeah, there was. Yes, there was. Bob Hoogland. I don't even think the other gentleman got out of his corner.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. It was good. It was a good time. Like I said, I had a good time. But we're gonna do it again, November 29th. Hopefully bigger, better. Hopefully more of a crowd this time around. Like I said, I can't remember a time living in Mountain Zion where Devore Academy wasn't here. Why don't you give me a little bit of your background in martial arts and how you got started in Devore Academy?
I started martial arts in 1980. I got married. My wife got pregnant. I thought maybe I had gotten pregnant as well. We was both gaining some weight. There was a martial arts school, moved into Mountain Zion. She graciously allowed me the opportunity to start taking martial arts. I'd always had an interest in martial arts. You know, always was the big Bruce Lee fan, the martial arts movies. So started in 1980, spent 10 years with my original instructor. He decided to quit teaching, and the month later I opened up Devore Academy out here in Mountain Zion, 1989.
Wow, so how old was you when you started?
I was 19 when I started.
Oh, okay.
29 when I started teaching at Devore Academy.
All right. So that the child your wife got pregnant with, Josh, obviously I grew up with, went to school with, and it's amazing. Josh goes on to main event events all around the world, and main event events for you, and is this huge athlete. And I'm fat and 28.
Oh, come on.
You know, grew up in the same town. That's kind of uncool. You know,
you have mentioned that we have been here ever since you can remember.
That is true. That is true. I will give you that, but I played football. Well, never mind. Forget it. Anyway, no, forget about me. So, well, let's start with Josh. Like I said, I wanted to go through some of your fighters. So let's start with Josh and some of the things Josh has been doing. Obviously, I remember back in the day, you guys held events at the high school. And
high school, theater, Macon County Fairgrounds.
All right.
So
now I know Josh has been all over the United States. Why don't you talk about some of his experiences and some of his events that he's had going on?
Josh, actually, I had him in a martial arts uniform when he was 3 months old.
All right.
At 4, formerly in karate class. At 14, I took him to Chicago to start full contact kickboxing. At 19, he kind of took a little break at 24-0 with 3 title belts. Hadn't done anything in 8.5 years. I put him in the ring twice in the gym, took him to St. Louis to try out for Chuck Norris's World Combat League, the St. Louis Enforcers. He made the team, went down there and banged with some of the best guys in the Midwest. That was in November. December, he went down to St. Louis and fought twice in one night on a card. Basically unheard of. I mean, he come out the second bout of the night, did boxing bout. Did very well. He come back the 7th bout, did a K1 kickboxing match, did very well, and had his first pro appearance, if you will, in San Antonio with the World Combat League.
Wow. So. Well, Josh, obviously doing very successful things around the nation. So much congratulations to you. You got to feel very proud to travel with him and do things with him. So that's pretty exciting.
It was very cool. I wasn't sure if he'd make the team. Like I say, he hadn't done anything in 8.5 years. The coach said, "I'll let you know in a couple weeks." I said, "Well, don't get our hopes up, what have you." Called me back 3 days later, and he said if he can do that well with an 8.5 year break, I can only imagine what he can do with training. So we got all excited. 2 days later, they called and blessed me with the assistant coaching position.
Wow.
With the World Combat League St. Louis Enforcers. So that was really cool. My wife being my biggest supporter, she travels with me everywhere we go. And one event, my daughter even got to go along and get in the bowl, if you will, the World Combat League ring, and throw T-shirts to the crowd. So
wow.
We're quite the family affair.
Oh well, man!
Cool.
Congratulations on that. I didn't realize that you were such involved. I knew Josh had competed there, but I didn't know you had been an assistant coach and stuff. So congratulations on that. Another guy I want to talk about, a guy in the next room that's actually training a class. Maybe you guys can pick up some of that. But Rich Christie, who's coming back on November 29th from how long of a layoff from fighting?
Rick actually, he was one of my first 4 original students back in '89. Started with me when he's 15.
You can only get 4 guys to sign up?
Only had 4 guys. Opened the door with 4 guys, and was my very first black belt I'd ever promoted. He had fought. He hadn't fought since he was probably 17 years old. Fought this year for the first time. Won a title belt up in Chicago, and he's not going to be on the card the 29th.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
February or March, possibly. He's like, what's a common term? My right-hand man.
There you go.
I need him greatly. I mean, he's the guy I rely on, I count on, I look to for everything. He watches the door, he makes sure there's no trouble, and allows me to take care of the team and do my job without any worries.
Right. Now, Rich Christie might not be on the card, but there are plenty of Christies on the card. Rich has, what, four children?
2 boys.
2 boys, and both of them fight for you.
Yes, sir. Mason, his youngest son, is 12. Josh, his oldest son, just turned 18 this week, actually. And both very, very good athletes. Very proficient in what they do.
Kind of going back to your history and stuff, we're in the year 2008. Right. Okay. You got Rich is here now full time, training kids and everything, and was one of your first 4 students. You're traveling all over for Josh. Go back to 1980 and think about where you were at then compared to where you guys are at now. Him now, your full-time instructor, basically probably, taking a lot of stuff off your shoulders so you can focus more on the business side of everything.
Absolutely.
His kids are now fighting. Josh is all over the world, he's coming back and fighting, What's that kind of mean to you? Sum that up for me.
I tell you what, I can't even put that into words. Anytime I try to talk about that stuff, I get a little emotional. It's been a lifelong passion for me. Back in '80, at 19 years old, I joined martial arts like most other people. I wanted to learn how to fight. I wanted to learn self-defense. What I found was a lifestyle. Everybody joins for something different, but if they stick around long enough, the attitude, the discipline, respect, the confidence, the character, the integrity, it all molds, and it's just a way of life. Rick's been like a son to me from day one. He's one of the first students I ever tucked tight underneath my arm and said, "Come with me." I took him everywhere I went, everything we did together. It was just really cool. And for him to come back and be able to work full time for me is a godsend blessing. For the first time, and I've been teaching martial arts for a long time now. And for the first time ever, I can leave for a week at a time. I don't have to worry about anything when I travel with the World Combat League. Sometimes we leave on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're gone till the following week. I don't even pick up the phone. I don't worry about anything, and that's pretty soothing. It really is.
Good stuff, man. Well, we don't have time to go over all the guys that are going to be on the card, but a couple I do want to talk about. Gail Allman, again, somebody I grew up with, her son, Dustin.
Yeah.
And now I know Gail's been fighting for, 2 years now?
Gail actually has been training for a little over a year or so. She's had 1 fight.
Right, I knew that in St. Louis,
she had
right?
a boxing match actually in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
So this will be, actually this weekend, I'm taking her to Des Moines.
Okay.
First Muay Thai fight. She'll be fighting the 29th, also Muay Thai.
Okay.
Indicator. 42 years old. You got to love it. And she just says, "I want to get in there and get some." Well, she works hard.
Again, I can remember Gail when I was just 10 or 11 years old, running around yards and stuff. Gail has always been a big health nut. So, and I had talked to her right before she started training with you, how excited she was about that. But another one I want to talk about too, Eric Newingham. Did I say that right?
Yes, sir.
Eric Wildman Newingham, who. I can't remember the guy's name he fought at your last show.
Michelob Pryor.
This Eric, how old is Eric?
Eric is 35.
35. He looks a lot older than that.
Don't tell me.
Where's he at? He's not around here, is he? But Eric comes out with this young kid. Obviously, Eric, the more experienced one. This kid's, I mean, he's bouncing all over the place. I know I'm sitting in the crowd, and I'm like, this dude's going to get killed, you know? And Eric comes out, and just, I think the kid came out with like was it a kick or a punch? Right off the bat?
Michelo's an outstanding
Yeah,
fighter. I mean, he's young, but he is a talented young fighter. He's out of Springfield, trains with a very good friend of mine over at John Gaston's, the premier martial arts over there. And he's got a lot of good fighters over there. He's got some good guys. You've seen some good guys on the card. He'll be bringing some good guys back. And actually, when they first, they was both leery of each other. You know, I mean, they trained together, so there was somewhat family. They both took a fight because neither one of them was able to get matched up. So they said, we'll get in there and we'll do some brotherly banging, if you will. And Michelow come out and caught Eric right off the bat and rocked him pretty good. And I thought, well, this could be a long night for Mr. Newingham. But you know, I wouldn't say one's any better than the other. Maybe one was a little better prepared, maybe had a little more training time and what have you, a little more stamina in the end, if you will. But it was a pretty good fight, you know. It was
I thought it was fight of the night, honestly. I mean, they did nothing but slug it out for 3 rounds straight. It was great. And I think Eric ended up getting the decision on the fight.
He got the knockout.
Yes. Oh, that wasn't a knockout?
Yes.
My bad. Can't remember everything, man. I got a lot going on. Oops. But anyways, November 29th, Decatur Conference and Hotel. Make sure you guys check that out. Crime Fighter is going to put the website, DevoreAcademy.com, across the bottom of the screen again. Make sure you guys check that out. Jeff, always been a pleasure, man.
Thank you,
I'm going to interview some of your fighters tonight.
Appreciate it.
Hopefully get a chance to talk to Rich Christie, who's over in the other room training people right now. So he's actually, how hard it is to keep kids' attention, especially he's got so many kids over there that he's teaching right now. My 3-year-old, obviously many of you know, Cameron, is over there right now and is sitting and just taking it all in. You know, he's got his full attention is completely focused on that class now. So if there's any doubt that these guys you can bring your kids here and they can focus and watch something and really pay attention to it. You know, I'm watching my son in there right now just sit there and just take it all in. So
well, I'll tell you, you know, most people think when, especially with the kids, you hear the word karate, they think, oh, kicking, punching, breaking boards, and really, you know, it's about attitude, disrespect, building confidence, and teaching them about character and responsibility, how to set and achieve goals. And we, you know, for the most part, we use kicking and punching as our tool to teach life skills. And Rick, I'm fortunate, he shares my vision and my passion with working with the kids. So.
You know, I've known Rick for a few years now, and Rick's not always been here at Devore Academy. He's had other things that he's done with his life, and he was telling the kids in the last class about how it took him 18 years to get back to this point in his life to be able to come here and teach full-time with you and live out his dream, and was telling them they, you know, chasing their dreams is important too. So and like you said, it's tough for you to talk about. I think there was a little bit of tear in his eye just saying that. So that's good stuff.
It
Jeff,
gets emotional. I mean, we believe in what we do.
Thanks again, man.
Thank you,
good luck on 29th. Hope you guys draw a big crowd. Hopefully I'll be able to make it also again there. You know, at the restaurant, things get a little crazy.
Absolutely.
But I wish you guys the best, man. I hope the crowd's getting bigger and better.
Round 1, fightnight.com. Round number 1, fightnight.com's got all the information, pictures of the venue. You can order tickets right through PayPal, right off the internet, everything.
Good. Make sure you guys check that out. We're going to come back and we're going to get some interviews with some fighters.
Thanks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, here at Devore Academy in Mount Zion, Illinois, with one of my favorite guys to even talk to MMA about, Rick Christie. Rick, how you doing, man?
Good, sir. How are you doing?
Good. I had an opportunity to sit out and watch some of your classes, man. Fantastic work with the kids.
Thank you, sir.
I was talking to Jeff, interview we just played a couple minutes ago, and we were kind of talking about, you were talking to the kids about, you know, how long it took you to come back to this point in your life. And it took you 18 years to be back here full time, you know. Talk about a little history, you know, when you started training martial arts and where you're at now.
Okay. I started training formally in 1989 with Mr. Devore. He's been my master instructor ever since. I started when I was 15 years old. I just now turned 35, so I'm going on almost 20 years, nonstop. I did take a little bit of time off with work schedules and things like that, but now I'm back. I've been working full-time with Mr. Devore for going on 2.5 years now. This is all I do. This is my job. I don't have another job, and I absolutely love it. I'm truly a blessed man to be able to do what I do for a living.
Well, you just came back fighting. You just had a big title defense and title shot in Chicago that you ended up winning. Tell me about that, taking so much time off. I know you hurt your ankle real bad, and training here full time and training to fight all at the same time. You know, what kind of goes through your mind to prepare for that?
It's a lot. It's a full schedule. We're here full time Monday through Friday. We do some stuff on the weekends too, fights on the weekends, and I was squeezing my training time in the morning, and we went up to Sugar Grove, Illinois, and I ended up winning the light cruiserweight title. I trained very hard for that. I trained for about 6 to 8 weeks straight, and I had a previous fight right before that, 1 week before, and then I fought back-to-back fights, and I won both of those. And the training is it's very intense. It takes a lot of sacrifice, a lot of perseverance, and when your body's wanting to say quit, you just got to keep going and keep going. And I did, and I have an awesome, the best coach ever, Jeff Devore. Couldn't ask for a better coach, couldn't ask for a better mentor, trainer. He pushed me along the way, and I owe everything that I've done here to Mr. Devore. He's allowed me to do what I do, and I'm truly a blessed man for that.
You know, I know you call him Sheehan and all that stuff, and he's your master and your trainer. But I mean, this is a whole lot more than that here. You know, this goes all the way back to 1980 when you first started training here. You know, you walk around this place, and there's so much history here now. Obviously, Jeff, and you here now as a full-time trainer, but all your kids are here. Training, and obviously Josh is all over the world, and you guys got all these other fantastic fighters here that I had an opportunity to see just a couple months ago also. Tell me what that means to you to not only be here now as a full-time trainer, but also training your kids to fight, and Josh obviously all over the country.
Well, I tell you what, I've seen Josh Devore from when he was a little kid. I started training, he was probably about 8 or 9, if I'm correct, and seeing him grow up into quite the outstanding athlete that he is. In fact, most of the title belts on the wall belong to him, and he was actually an inspiration to me. Seeing him win the titles and train as hard as he did, coming up through the ranks, that you know, he's younger than me, but yet he was still an inspiration to me. It's an honor just to be in the same dojo with him. It's an honor to spar with him. It's an honor to train with him. He's an outstanding individual, and he has some unbelievable skills. And you guys can see him on WCL. He is actually a WCL fighter, and Mr. Devore is actually assistant coach for the World Combat League, Chuck Norris's league. Watching my own kids come up, I started training my kids when they were little bitty. A lot of the training they got was informal at my house. I just didn't have the time to make it to the dojo, but now my oldest son Josh is 18, and he
just turned 18 actually, so happy birthday.
Yeah, about a week ago as a matter of fact. And my youngest son Mason is 12. And they're both competitors. They both do an outstanding job. I couldn't be prouder of them. I'm a little partial because they're my kids,
right.
but they do a good job, and I couldn't be prouder of them. Couldn't be prouder of Josh Devore because he's like my little brother. I saw him coming up through the ranks. I've known him, like I said, since 1989, and it's a family deal. It's a family atmosphere, and we've got second, and Mr. Devore's got a grandson now, so we're going to have a third generation coming up through the ranks here in a couple years. Going to be starting training also, and it's a wonderful thing. It's a family environment, and we really promote that. We're proud of that, and we want to keep it that way.
So, Rick, what's your future goals right now? I mean, what do you have in the plans? What's your plans for this year, and what's 2009 hold for Rick Christie?
Well, for my family, I'm going to be still training my boys and making sure they keep pursuing their dreams and their goals. For the school, definitely the kids are number one here at Devore Academy. We want to make sure that you know, the kids are focused and got a good direction. For me personally, I'd like to get my ankle nice and healed up the way it should be and get back in the ring and defend my title a couple times. And I'm getting a little old, but I still got a couple good ones in me, and I'm going to be looking forward to getting back in the ring again.
You know, I know this isn't really focused on MMA. This is more kickboxing, Muay Thai, in that category. I know you guys do train people for MMA, so I'm not trying to say that. But like I was talking to Jeff earlier, you guys drew 700 fans on a kickboxing Muay Thai level, which I thought was absolutely amazing, and the whole night was just nothing but excitement. Do you see your boys in the future in the MMA world, or do you see them more staying towards kickboxing and Muay Thai?
You know, I think their preference is Muay Thai kickboxing. You know, we're mostly a stand-up school, but we do have an awesome jiu-jitsu program, and
which is going on right now, actually. The next time,
as a matter of fact, we got a whole wonderful group of kids in there doing some jiu-jitsu training with Darren Rock. He's our jiu-jitsu instructor, and you know, my kids have expressed a lot of interest in MMA, and my oldest son Josh is wanting to do it. My youngest son's still a little bit young to do it, but they definitely train for it. You know, but I think their heart is still in the stand-up and the Muay Thai, but they are definitely interested in doing MMA, and you know, whatever doors open, whatever opportunities open, I'm sure they're going to jump on it. You
know, one thing I hate about MMA, now that they stand the fighters up a lot of the times, if they make it look like similar. I love jiu-jitsu. I really do. I love the challenge of going back and forth on the mat, and a lot of people find that boring. Don't you see jiu-jitsu kind of gets a bad rap in the MMA world when they're battling for position on the bottom? You know, why do you think that is?
Well, I think a lot of the problem is you know, you see the stand-up, you actually see the punches and kicks a lot more. Sometimes when the guys are on the ground, if you don't know much about jiu-jitsu or maybe MMA, you might not notice what they're exactly trying to do, and it's like a chess match on the ground. And if you don't know it, you might not appreciate it as much. But I tell you what, when them guys are on the ground and there's a good jiu-jitsu match and they're fighting for positions, and it can be quite interesting. It really can. But a lot of the crowd wants to see the action. And even when the guys clinch and they're holding on to each other in boxing, they break them up because they want to see the action. They want to see you know, the fighting. That's why Chuck Norris's WCL is non-stop 3 minutes of nothing but action. In fact, they actually kind of look down on you if you clinch, if you stall or anything like that, and it's becoming very, very successful because of the action. And you know, it's if you know what you're looking for, it can be very exciting. If you're not, you know, it might appear to be a little boring, but if you learn about it and you watch it and you see two guys actually getting in a good grappling match, it is very interesting, and it is awesome entertainment.
You know, I was watching UFC 90. I don't know if I haven't had a chance to talk to you about that, but did you watch UFC 90 yet?
I didn't get to see it, but I got on UFC.com and I checked out the wins and who prevailed.
You know, I was watching it and I was pretty embarrassed because, you know, not only is this their first trip to Illinois, but no matter what is going on, the referees, no matter if they're on the ground battling for position or standing up fighting, you know, waiting for an open shot, I guess is my terminology. I don't know what yours is. But and the refs continue to go, come on, guys, keep it moving. Come on, guys, keep it moving. Keep it moving. Don't make me stand you up. Every second. I was completely embarrassed. I couldn't believe that this is the representation that we're getting at Illinois, the first trip they're in here, that these guys are so forced to make it stand up now and make the action keep going, that, you know, these guys aren't recognizing that these guys are still fighting for a position. It's not a stall. They're not laying there. You know, these guys are great jiu-jitsu guys, and they don't want them to do it. They want them to stand up, and if they stop moving for a split second, this guy's literally on them. It just makes me sick that you know, that they call it MMA, and they're literally trying to push that part of it out of it at this point. So.
Well, the one thing that gets attention from everybody, from promoters, from fighters, from the fans, everything, is once you hear booing, they don't like that. And right or wrong or indifferent, if the crowd's booing, I mean, the crowd is the reason why they do this. It's the reason why they have these shows. And if the crowd's not happy, they're trying to tailor to the crowd, and the crowd wants to see nonstop action. That's why the WCL is becoming huge, because it's nonstop action. It's 3 minutes of go, 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 go. Real Muay Thai and real kickboxing, boxing, you know, when them guys are getting with it, that's when the crowd stands up, and that's you know, that's what sells tickets. And you know, we got to call it like we see it. The reason they put on these shows is to put on the fights, but also there's tickets to be sold, and there's a crowd to be entertained. Without a crowd, we won't have the fights. And so, you know, I think that's what they're trying to tailor to, is they want the crowd on their feet. And let's face it, when somebody gets slammed, when somebody's, you know, mixing it up real good, that's when the crowd gets excited. That's what they want to see, and of course that's what sells tickets.
All right. Well, Rick, I appreciate your time, man. I know you're busy. I know you guys have a lot of stuff going on. We're going to film some training going on. I'm going to talk to your oldest boy. I see him walking around here.
Awesome.
So we're going to talk about his future and what he's got going on. I know he had an awesome fight just a couple months ago that I had an opportunity to watch too. So we're going to talk about that and his preparing, and how tough it is to have you as a dad.
So make sure you edit that.
All right, Rick, again, November 29th, round one fight night. Make sure you guys check that out. Rick Christie, if you ever get a chance to watch him fight, make sure you do so. But he's got a bad ankle right now, so give him a little break on that. Thanks again, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Respect.
I don't know how to do that. I'm gonna hurt myself just doing that. Still at Devore Academy here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with Eric, Wildman Newingham. Eric, how you doing, buddy?
Good, sir.
Good, good. Eric, I watched you fight a couple months ago, man, in a fantastic fight. The guy came out and pretty blasted you right out the gate.
Sure.
And I believe you ended up getting a knockout in that fight. You ended up coming back and getting a knockout. I think it was in the third round knockout, and just 3 rounds of nothing but nonstop action. And this other guy, I mean, no offense to you, Eric, but you know, he's quite a bit younger than you are. You would think that he'd a little bit more agility than you, but your experience shined through, and you end up coming out with a big knockout. Fantastic fight. Tell me about going into a fight like that, and what goes through your mind when you get hit like that right out the gate.
Just a lot of training and a lot of ring time. It gets you prepared for taking the blunt force trauma. There's nothing really to get you too prepared for it. I mean, if you get hit and you see the stars, you get hit, you know, so.
Right. Eric, I don't mean to burst your bubble, but man, I'm walking around here, I'm talking to some of these guys. A lot of these guys are like 15, 20 years younger than you are, and have bodies that are unreal. How do you able to compete with these guys?
It just means I got to work 3 times harder than they do to try to get the same outcome that they get, and it's just a little heart here. Great coaching,
right.
All that comes together, and you get to see great fights. And
right. Give me a little bit of your background. When did you start training for martial arts?
I started back in 2005.
Oh, okay.
Just initially as a martial arts student, and Mr. Devore gave me suggested to me maybe if I wanted to try a kickboxing match, and tried my first one, and I liked it. My wife liked it.
That's always a plus.
It helped to get her into martial arts also. Got my son into the martial arts. It's just a different life-altering kind of decision to come into the martial arts. And then the kickboxing is just an extension of that, and it allows you to see how far you've progressed.
All right. Obviously, this is a perfect example of you can do anything no matter what your age. And you're not by no means an old man. How old are you?
35.
35, which is not, maybe I'm blowing it out of proportion, but compared to some of these other guys, man, to watch you in this ring, and we got some footage, I'm sure you guys have seen some of the clips already of you going back and forth and holding your own, some great action, man. I'm just excited just being here and watching you guys spar is awesome, how fast you guys go, and 100%. There's such a great tradition of family values here, the discipline respect aspect obviously in it, with Jeff and Rick and everybody around here. What's it mean for you to be here and watch this whole family here, and these guys have been together for 20 plus years, training?
It's once you walk through the door, you feel that in the atmosphere. Everybody here is just an extended part of your family. You spend so much time together. You give so much emotion to each other. You teach the young ones. That's really the main thing. There's always so much positivity in here, from Mr. Devore down to the littlest student. There's always so much positiveness in here.
Right. Eric, like I said, I thought one of your fights was one of my favorites from a couple months ago. I thought it was really, really action-packed the whole time. Who in this gym do you love to watch, that you have to go out there and watch?
I'd say I like watching No Pain, because he's just a brawler.
Yeah. Josh, No Pain, Spain.
Yeah, I like watching him. He's got the heart of a lion.
Right.
I love watching Chico.
Yeah.
He's just so skilled. Josh Christie, he's very skilled, and with his heart solely into it, he's going to be a great fighter coming out of here in the future too. We got a lot of young, very respectable fighters that, we're going to be hearing a lot from Devore Academy in the future too.
Good. Well, good deal. Eric, thanks for taking the time to talk to me, man. I know you got a lot of training to do. Eric, Wild Man, Newingham, make sure you guys check him out if you get an opportunity.